Hello, massive good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, welcome to podcast 96. How do, Paddy?
How do, Jordan? Number 2 at day.
I don't know why. We've got loads of viewers already. People saying hello, Carl.
Amazing.
Loads of viewers coming. Oh my goodness, we've got loads. You might be better at reading than me.
My husband Neil is on the edge of. Oh, it's gone. Something to do with. There you go. He's on the edge of his seat when is it starting? He's already got a big bag of jelly sweets waiting. Perfect.
Oh,
excellent.
That's good. That's what we like.
Andrew Van Buren, building up the suspense. Yes, of course. You know it, love. Lucy Rose Rollason. Hello.
Hello, Lucy. Got loads coming through.
We have. Hi, Lucy. I am waiting. Says Ken Wheeler. Hello, Ken.
I can, right.
Amazing stuff.
We've got loads of viewers.
Before we start, sorry, I've got to give another shout out. If you're on TikTok, like some of us, Sarah Tustin's back on. Hi, yeah. If you're on TikTok, one great thing to check out. I just discovered this morning. If you go the @ symbol, it's Jessica_Kate. She's a girl who works at Lincolnshire Wildlife Park. I've literally watched all the videos she's got to offer today. There's all the animals, because even though they're in lockdown, the animals still need to be looked after, and some of them are just incredible. She does. There you go. There it is. There. Animal fact of the day. I found out stuff that I didn't know before. Like, for example, did you know that when otters are asleep, they hold hands so they don't float away from each other? How cute is that?
That's nice. There you go.
Tim Willison says hello. Apologies if I'm pronouncing any of these names wrong.
Good stuff. So if you are joining us, guys, don't forget to give us a like and share on our Facebook page, Podcast 96. You can go back anytime and watch any of our previous podcasts that we've had on, including the one we had earlier today with Gary Tustin. And please give us a subscribe on YouTube as well at Podcast 96. We've been going a couple of weeks now, and we've had some fantastic podcasts, brilliant stories. And
we've still got more to come.
Laughs. Yeah, hilarious laughs. We've got more to come. We've got loads of ideas to keep you guys going through this lockdown. So we hope we've brought some positivity. But we have got fantastic guests on this afternoon. I was fanboying.
I'm really looking forward to this.
Because growing up, this gentleman was my entertainment inspiration. He's the reason I do entertainment today. It's absolutely fantastic.
I never saw him back in the day, but just when we had the chat on Facebook the other day, instantly, what a man, what a legend.
Absolutely brilliant. He used to be at sales where I used to watch him, and he was absolutely outstanding. All the way from Norfolk. Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure. Please welcome to Podcast 96. It's Rollo.
Woo! A jacket, well, not this one, a jacket very similar, and it was a beige one I got at home, right? And it was in a shop, not a second-hand shop. I don't know if you've heard of it. Seconds. Do you know what I mean? Not a second-hand, but seconds. What it is, if you've never seen, there's like a slight imperfection, and then they have to sell them off cheap. And I've got this jacket, I've not got it tonight, but £69 reduced to 12 quid. Just for, I mean, if you look at it closely, I must admit, if you look at it closely, one of the sleeves is slightly shorter than the other two. But apart from that, it's a very good jacket then.
There we go, here he is. Welcome to Podcast 96, Rollo. How are you?
Hey, Rollo.
Oh, yeah, nice to see you. All right.
We're very well. How are you?
Give a round of applause. Minty says...
Very good.
Oh, we've got loads of comments coming straight in.
Tim Willerson, I'm really excited to see Rollo. He's here on the screen. Yeah. There you go. He is so funny, says Tim. Quite right.
Brilliant. How have you been, Rollo?
I'm all right, thanks, mate. Yeah, very good. You know, just... well, we're indoors, aren't we? Not a lot going on, so... making the most
We're all grounded.
Yeah.
We all got grounded, yeah. Brilliant.
Just keeping in contact with people on Facebook and live and Zoom and stuff like that. You know, that's all you can do, isn't it? That's what you can do.
Definitely.
Absolutely. And talking of which, I forgot to ask Gary this earlier. I always like to ask people we get on here. We're all abusing the streaming services. Anything you've watched on Netflix, Amazon Prime, ITV Hub, anything like that, that you can recommend to people that maybe they've not heard about?
There was. Did you see the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire drama? You know, it's called The Quiz. Did you see that?
Quiz, which is still on ITV Hub. That was brilliant. I love that.
Very good. That was good. Yeah, very good.
If you,
No, I've not seen
Jordan,
that.
go and watch it. ITV Hub. It's called Quiz. There's 3 episodes. It was so worth a watch. It really is.
I'll give it, and that's on
There you
ITV.
go.
Yeah. I'll give that a watch.
Yeah.
Obviously, when we called you the other day, Rollo, I was sort of fanboying a bit from when I saw you at Sales when I was younger. Yeah, Paddy said I was like, yeah. Entertainment. Where did it all start for you? When did you know that this was what you always wanted to do?
Well, when I was a kid, I lived in Cornwall. I was living at home with my parents, and I always loved going to the circus. Where there used to be a circus come to our town and such like, every year. And I got the bug, the entertainment bug. I love circuses, and when I was a kid, I used to go. There was a clown who used to work in a circus called Bertram Mills, very old circus. He retired in the village near us, and he sort of worked opposite where I live. And I used to spend all my time talking to him and going through pictures of old circuses and showing me makeup. And then when I was about 10 years old, something like that, I went with him and started joining in shows with him, clown shows.
Yeah. Nice.
And then I used to spend my summer holidays with the circus, helping out, building the tent, and being the person in the audience that got picked and such like. That's really where it started. And then as soon as I left school, that's what I did. I joined the circus.
Brilliant. And how was that? Just being in the circus, what was that like?
Oh, fantastic! It's once you.
Barney Harwood says Rollo legend.
Hello, Barney. It's
Sorry.
being in the circus, it's very, very hard work, but you meet a lot of people you stay friends with for the rest of your life, and you it's the discipline of working in the circus, because everyone, you've got all different nationalities working together, Spanish, French, Italians, Germans, everyone all working together, building that tent up, doing the show, pulling it down, moving to the next place, building it, and everyone's there doing the same thing. It's a real nice atmosphere.
Definitely.
And sounds awesome.
Obviously, something entertainment is always been with you, and you've done holiday parks. Obviously, I knew you from Sales. Have you ever done any other holiday parks, sort of entertainment as well?
Well, my first holiday park I did was on the Isle of Wight, about 1989. It was Warner's then, but it was a family park. That was 89, and then I did a couple of years at Great Yarmouth summer season
Nice.
for Warner when they were a family organisation, and then I did a Haven park. I was compere at Haven, Hastings, St Leonard's,
Okay.
Haven Holiday Park.
Yeah.
And that's where I met my wife. We were down there, did a summer season.
Oh.
And then I did another season at Potter's Leisure Resort in Hopton-on-Sea. Really nice place.
Yeah.
Did there for a season, and then I went to Sales for a few years at Hunstanton.
Yeah, brilliant.
But
And
since
obviously,
I've done cabaret all over the place, different holiday parks and hotels and such like. So, yeah, I worked here, there, and everywhere, anywhere that'll have me. You know what I mean?
definitely, that's
If
brilliant.
the money's right.
The price is right. Obviously, you said you did your first season a few years back now. We sort of had this discussion quite a lot with entertainers, whether they're just coming into the industry or they've been in the industry for many years. How much do you think it has changed from when you first started to sort of now? I mean, Paddy do it with Park Holidays. Do you think it's changed for the better, or do you think old school was more of a way, or what are your views on it?
Well,
The troublemakers say hello as well.
Hello there. Well, it's changed. The thing is, everything changes. You've got to go with the times.
Yeah.
I'm quite traditionalist. You know what I mean? If you saw my act, that's there's nothing new in it. You know what I mean? It's recycled gags, some other comics and ideas. But as far as holiday parks go, what you call them now, when I did the Isle of Wight in '89, there was a board on the wall, and there were chalets, and there were chalet guards walking up and down, and it would say baby crying, and they'd slot a number in. And if your baby was crying in chalet number 20 or such like, and there was outdoor pools and people get chucked in. And, I used to take a bunch of children on a walk to the beach and to do a sandcastle competition, and you're thinking, nowadays you couldn't do things like this. I'm not saying it's better. It's
Can
just
you
different,
imagine?
You know, people are more aware of health and safety and political correctness and such like. But I think the standard of holiday parks, lighting and sound and such like, is wonderful. I just worry sometimes it loses that personal touch. You know what I mean? Where everything's done on a voiceover, or everything's done with the Mr. Chips, whatever they call them things, and there's no. You know what I mean? A little bit of banter with the punters. I think that's what people like. Yeah. They like if you know, someone says to them on Saturday, I can't find my chalet and or caravan, you help them, and then if you go to them on the Sunday, say, hello love, did you manage to find your yeah, oh thanks for that love, you know. And it's little things. People like to be remembered, don't they?
Yeah, definitely.
You know,
absolutely.
I think for an entertainer, even a hello, if people are walking by, even a hello is massive for people. It just makes the holiday to be recognised by the entertainer. Goes a long way.
I'll tell you, it's at Butlins when I was there, we in our training thing they had something called the 20-foot rule, which applies to two different things. One, anyone who comes within 20 feet of you, you say hi, whether you know them or not. You say hi. And secondly, and I still adopt this because I'm in the habit of doing it now, if you see any litter within 20 feet of you, pick it up.
Yeah.
The 20-foot rule is brilliant.
Yeah, goes a long way. And we sort of touch on this every time. I mean, I've brought it up countless of times on this podcast. But it's also changed for kids as well, because their attention span isn't as great as an adult. And when I used to come to sales, when I come to sales when I was little, you'd come out on stage and you'd have whether it be the colouring book we used to do, or the gags, and all the kids would just be in awe watching you. But now it's very hard to keep kids' attention. And with park holidays, we sort of have like an LED touchscreen, and that's what they know, and that's what they're drawn to now. So I think it's definitely changed for kids as well at the holiday parks.
Yeah, and I think the same as kids' parties. You see, kids' parties went on spec for a little while. I do a lot of children's parties, Punch and Judy and magic shows and things. But a lot of people want that. Very similar. Yeah. A lot of people still want that, and they're surprised that children could sit for 45 minutes, then have their dinner, then another 45 minutes. You know, you can do it. Children still like to be entertained, and you know, when you watch pantomime, I went to a little circus not that long ago, and the children are just enthralled by it. If you take the screen off them, there is something there. If it's a good show, if you're a good entertainer, I think they want to be entertained still, children. It's just they don't really know it.
Definitely. Yeah, that's where it's changed, I think.
I mean, to go with that, do you think technology has detracted? Because again, like I said at the beginning, we've got Netflix, we've got Disney Plus. Disney Plus is amazing, by the way. Yeah. And like we were, I think we touched on this when we had a call the other day. Our LED walls, as we call them, at Park Holidays UK, they're sort of laid out. So we've got everything we're doing, be it a party dance, be it a game, be it tell us a joke or whatever. It's laid out like an iPad screen, and they've all got different apps. So you just touch the screen and it will go through. I mean, it's a lovely idea and I like it, but do you think maybe it's a bit, not sad, but unfortunate that we've had to go down that route because people, and especially kids, are so used to seeing that on a screen?
Well, I think, but then you see, I think it's the technology. If you go to a show, like I went to see the Hippodrome at Great Yarmouth last year. I don't know if you've ever been. Yeah. It's a really old building in Great Yarmouth. It's got a beautiful circus and water spectacle. And my daughter was a synchronized swimmer there in the show and a dancer. And they got big screens and light and etc. And it's phenomenal. It blows you. The music it's perfect. But if you haven't got the talent as well to go with it, you can replace one with the other. If, you know, it's no good having 80 screens and then have the juggler that keeps dropping his clubs. Do you know what I mean? As long as you've got good talent, I think you've got to embrace technology really and go with it, because 50 years ago, people were saying, "Oh, this will never catch on." You know, cassette, that'll never work. Mini displays, what's it like? You know, people have had to cut down with, you know, when I first started in cabaret, I had to have my dots. I had to have keyboard, bass and drum written out, you know, parts. But nowhere has a live band really. If you go to a holiday park, apart from a Warner hotel, you know, there's very few places, but it's no good moaning about it. You've got to just move with the times or you get left behind, don't you? You know.
I say we touched on this with Gary earlier when I was a redcoat in Mineheads just 10 years ago. We still had a live band behind the backdrop playing live with our shows. And as I said, one person who used to be there back in the day was Ringo Starr.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just, I mean, again, I think what we were saying before as well, have you ever seen it where training with all the tech stuff? Obviously, we've got Andy backstage on this, who's absolutely brilliant with tech. I couldn't do what he does. Cheers, Andy, again, by the way. Lighting and sound, it enhances the talent. But have you ever seen it where someone's clearly got no blooming clue what they're doing?
Well, yes, of course you do. You see that sort of thing all the time, don't you? But, you know, there's a thing, you know, that some friends and I say, if we go and see a show, sometimes we go and see a local production, they say, oh, what did you think? I would say, the lighting was great, you know, and that really is like a little cue for saying it wasn't too good. You know, you could always say something good about a show, you know what I mean? But, you know, lighting is important in such like, because it creates a mood, and some of the newer panto producers out there, like, you know, are fantastic. It's not just a cloth and someone doing 3x3.
Yeah,
it really, and people expect it now. It's not cheap to go to a show, so they expect West End style lighting and sound, don't they?
Definitely. We got loads more things to talk about, but we've got a lot of questions and comments coming in. I'll let Paddy read them.
Let's get them through.
My eyes are awful.
Let's get them through.
See what people are saying.
Here we go. Megan Chatburn. Hello to you, Chadburn. By the way, I'm going to apologise now if I pronounce your name wrong. I think I've got that right. What inspired Sean to go into the entertainment business?
I failed my exams. No, I didn't. No, it's basically it was that when I was young, you know, the circus. That's what I wanted to do first, work in the circus world, you know. Yeah. And I did that, and then slowly I progressed, done all different things. But it was watching the circus when I was young. You see, every Christmas Day there was circus on TV, and every Easter, and it's a big thing, and that's what I wanted to do. And luckily, I got to be able to do it when it was still traditional circus, you know.
Definitely. Thank you for that comment.
There you go. Excellent. Sarah Tustin. Hi, Sarah. Do you remember singing Goodnight Children at Searles? Jordan loved it.
Yes, I do.
I did.
We brought
hands were going.
We did Goodnight Children.
Can you give us a rendition now?
I think Jordan would be better at it than me.
Me? We'll do it at the end. We'll do it together at the end.
Yeah, we'll do it at the end, yeah.
That could be a good sign-off.
Tim Willison, who was the clown who helped with Rollo shows?
It was called Nicky Main. His name was Nicky Main, but his clown name was Nico. He worked on we did Butcher Mills, and then he did some small shows like Count Bazard and people like that, and some of the old Foster shows.
It
wasn't well known, but he was well known in the business. He worked with other clowns. Nicky Main, but his name was Nico the clown. His wife was Phyllis. She did a trapeze act. She hung by her toes and such like.
Nice.
Wow.
But that was, I mean, he passed away now, probably, I don't know, 25, 30 years. Yeah, probably.
Yeah, brilliant. Well, not brilliant.
Summer Neve says, what was your favourite show you've done? Hi, Summer.
Well, I mean, I've done some lovely summer seasons. Actually, at Hunstanton at the Princess Sid, which is a nice summer season there. Pantomime-wise, I think the one I just did Scunthorpe Bath Halls. That's a nice panto. They're all different, you see. I think my favourite subject probably to do is Cinderella.
Nice.
And my favourite one is when I did Rotherham Civic Theatre with Maureen Nolan, and it was
what a legend.
Oh, there we are.
There you go. There it is.
Straight away.
There we are. That's Maureen Nolan, and it was a superb. That was a lovely show. Yeah, but they're all different. You know, it depends who you're working with. I did a couple of years playing Smee with Darren Day. We did Worthing, then we did Kettering together, and it was a great feed, and he was a great talent. So I love doing that. And then recently I did a lovely tour with, I don't know if Barney Harwood's watching. He was the star in the show. We did a nice tour with a film called Bippo, and it's sometimes the company that's with you. You know what I mean?
Is that Barney off of Kids TV?
Yeah.
Oh, brilliant! I thought it was, but I didn't want to say just hey, Barney, I'm a big fan. Yes, I'm a fanboy now.
Awesome.
Have we got any more questions coming through?
We had a massive comment from Jack as well. I don't know if we can get that back, but he put a big comment. I didn't read it in time. Any more questions coming through?
That's your little bro, isn't it?
It is
Barney
indeed.
Harwood, I imagine circus owners to become eccentric. Is this the case? Any stories? Good question, Barney.
Excellent.
Good question, Barney. Well, you see,
we've got a celebrity watching, Jordan. Can you believe this?
This is madness.
Yeah. There's a lot of
we'll get Philip Schofield next.
Well, there's not so many eccentrics, really, I suppose, but there were some very eccentric circus owners that I worked with. I can't really tell you many of the stories without incriminating myself or
then don't worry.
But there are. I mean, the circus that I worked for was a man called Tony Hopkins, who I still keep in contact with, and he ran Billy Smarts for a while. A great producer, but he and I'm sure he won't mind me saying it was such a stressful job to run a big show, and he had no family with him. He's all on his own. He used to get stressed. You know, you never know how many people are going to turn up. You've got 50 people to pay every week, animals to feed, trucks to
look at that. There you go.
Yeah, and he used to get very, very stressed. Obviously, if it's windy, you know, you had the risk of ripping the tent, which is, you know, £250,000. You know, so stressful. But he used to get this real bad twitch. You know what I mean? And one day he lost his temper so badly, and he was no bigger than me. He picked up the curtain rail, which is probably 30 foot long, and lifted up and threw it at the keyboard player. And it went about 20 foot along the field, you know. He was, but
wow.
There are a lot of eccentric people, you know, but not quite so much. You know, I remember a clown that I really admired called Jimmy Scott, and he's no longer with us, but he was a great clown, and he was a tumbler and a sharpshooter, and this is a funny story. This is where they were in Cornwall. I was only a kid, and the police were at the ground, and they were checking road taxis and things. And so the circus boss said to him, "Look, everyone, you got to make sure the lights are on. That, you know, make sure you plug your trailers in." And so Jimmy Scott, now he was about 70 then, and he had one eye. So, and then his other eye, he could only see if he tipped his head to one side like that. So he used to have one eye and drive like that, you know. But anyway,
okay.
He drove. So he was driving like this. He wound his window down. He pulled the trailer out round, put his indicator on, shut the mirrors like this, driving, you know, like you meant to drive in your passenger test, and drove to the next ground. As he was driving, all the other vehicles, they were driving, flashing him, beeping him. Because he was blind, he couldn't see. Flashing, pulled into the next ground. The police were there. He very carefully checking his mirrors, couldn't see a thing. Pulled in like that. Got out, and he limped off to look at, and he started swearing. And he left his trailer at the last ground, and then he realised.
No.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
It's loads of characters, lots of characters. Yeah.
Brilliant.
You could. We had. I was lucky to work with a lot of nice characters. I worked with an Egyptian strongman in '88. An Egyptian strongman called Sharif Amar, and he used to throw cannonballs.
That's the year I was born. What a great year.
Yeah, good year. He used to get these cannonballs. He used to throw them in the air and then catch them on the back of his neck and such like, you know. Well, he had two Moroccan lads that were his assistants, you know. And anyway, they were passing these balls, you know, and they were heavy. And then one rolled out into the ring doors where I was. So I sort of picked up and I hid it. And I passed it to David Chipperfield, the elephant trainer. Passed it. So this Moroccan chap came and I said, "Where's the bull?" I said, I've not seen it. Have you seen a ball? I've not seen a ball. No ball. Because some of the balls were a little bit heavier than the others. Some were lighter. So anyway, he went back in and Sharif went like that. So he passed him this ball, you see, like this. And he grabbed hold of it and passed it back. Because it was heavy. Then he passed it again, like there. And he went, and then you could see him. He had to do it, but the light ball was hidden. So he got this ball, and he threw it in the air, and went, and it was a swear word. It was a swear word.
Oh,
But it was like, no harm done. No harm done.
Oh, goodness me.
thank God for that. We've just had a
Brilliant.
message from Andy. Backtracking slightly, can we take a quick look at the Wizard of Oz with you and Barney?
Oh, let's.
Let's go one step at a time. Let's go one step at a time. Let's go see the Wizard of Oz. Let's go see the fella down the road that's yellow. Wow, what a witch, if ever there was. Because look at all he does. Because he's the Wizard of Oz. Let's go see the Wizard of Oz. Let's go see the Wizard of Oz. Let's go see the Wizard of Oz.
Oh, that's lovely. Brilliant. Video.
Excellent.
I've got to tell you, I've got to be honest, that clips was the year, the tour before that. That wasn't Barney on there, unfortunately. That was that was when I did it, when Sooty was in it. Sooty and Sweep and Sue were in that.
Yes, Sooty.
Yeah. But the poster
Love
was
Sooty.
the poster was right. But that was still me in that in the Tin Man. But that was we did Sooty and Sweep and Sue were in one year. That's it. And that
Brilliant.
that's Mark James. He stepped in to play Scarecrow because Richard Cadell wasn't able to do the tour, you see. But then when I did it, Barney was more recently. Barney was just last year. We did Fantastic Tour. But I don't know if there's any clips on YouTube of that. I don't know.
Andy might have them. You never know.
Quite possibly. Everything's on YouTube.
Have we got any more questions or comments?
Hey there, guys. Just wondering, I'm a techie. Roll, you may remember me from Liz Coggins' show in November last year. I'm just wondering, what do you guys prefer regards lighting, the old or the new lighting? That's from Joshua Fenton. Hey, Josh.
Oh, Josh, yeah. Liz Coggins, because that's up north a bit. Do I prefer? I don't mind as long as it's on. I don't mind. You know, it's sometimes I think
It's a good question, actually.
it is.
Excellent.
I'm not the most technical person, but sometimes you know the old lighting desks where you could just have a lot of sliders and fade up and fade down. And sometimes now
Crossfader as well, yeah.
If for instance, if I'm directing a show or whatever and something goes wrong, it's so technical. You can't just go quick do that. You have to get your iPad, log in, and all. You know, they all move themselves and all that. And I mean, they obviously the new stuff. I think the new stuff looks better. But
oh yeah,
there's something to be said for old manually operated stuff, isn't there?
Definitely. Yeah.
For the sake of easiness, I would have to agree because I remember the Amdram Society here in my village where I'm currently isolating. We do a panto every February. Don't know about this year, but we'll get onto that in a bit. And we used to. I started doing it from the age of 10, but then I developed an interest in tech and everything else. And you're quite right. We had like a row on the top, and so you could like set it to number 3 on 6, number 8 on whatever. Make that go live, for want of a better word. But then the bottom set, while that scene is going on, that's a good 8-minute scene. You could prep the next one, cue it, and then either take one of the sliders down so it goes blackout, and then the other one the same way, or do them both at the same time and it crossfades. And I just found it so much easier. But now with everything, it's DMX'd, it's LED. You can do so many more colors with just the one unit, which is nice. They built it into one unit, and obviously you don't get so hot under LED, and there's a better guarantee on it. But no, I have to agree with you in that respect. I mean, kudos to going to Panzer World. They've got it when it comes to tech. They really have.
God, yeah.
Good. We've got
Bobo Roberts
comments coming through.
Bobo Roberts, were your parents in the business as well?
No, they weren't. But hello, Bobo. But that man that is just
okay.
Bobo Roberts. His parents were in the business. They were the Robert Brothers Circus. Very, very famous circus family.
Okay.
Yes, and still very well respected. Working all over the world. Great family, the Roberts. But no, my family were not in the business. In fact, my dad used to drive me around when I was a kid to go and see shows and such like. But it was a bit of a shock. I think they thought I'd grow out of it. That's what they said when I was a kid. They thought I'd grow out of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And when I grew up, I'd do something a proper job, But no.
Brilliant. Can we get Jack's comment? I've just messaged Andy on the little chat there. Can we get Jack had a comment earlier, but I think there we go. It was a long comment.
Jack Simon, just wanted to say hi to Rollo. There you go. Thank you for making both mine and Jordan's childhood so fun. You were a massive inspiration to Jordan, and he wouldn't be the great entertainer he is today without you. Also, seeing you now as a big throwback to Searles Holiday Park. Crying emoji, good times, laughing emoji.
No, no,
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah.
Doesn't
Nice
say
comment
everything.
from Jack.
How does it make you feel? Because I don't know about you. This is a question for both of you, really, Jordan. I'm not good at taking compliments. I don't know if that's just because of the way I am or whatever. But like, if I do my vocal show, someone comes and says, "Oh, that was brilliant," I'll just respond with, "Thank you." When you hear comments like that, obviously it makes you feel good. But are you good at taking?
Not really.
Praise yeah.
I just think I'm just doing my job. It's nice to know that. Obviously, you want people to have a good time, want people to enjoy it. But
Oh yeah. Hi,
it's
Jack,
nice
by the way.
when people say it. So, hi, Jack. It's nice when you say you hear people say nice things, because sometimes people don't. They only have the negative, to say, especially if you're asking them to write it on the form. But it is nice, and it is nice when I've seen people that have gone into the business. I've seen that I've given a bit of advice for whatever my advice is. People have asked me bits and pieces, and I've given them a bit. And with my son and my daughter, I've given them a bit of advice if they want to take it or not. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. But it is nice to pass on a little bit of knowledge. But I'm not really very good at taking compliment. It's nice when you hear. I did a gig at Warner's on the Isle of Wight recently. My wife was with me, and when she sometimes listens to what the people are saying when they go out, and someone said, "What do you think? What do you think took Cabaret?" She said, "Well, it weren't as bad as I thought." And I think that's a lovely comment.
That was nicest comment.
Amazing.
Yeah, brilliant.
I did a show once, and someone said to me, "Hey, that were all right, wasn't it?" I suggested I paid £5 for a show worse than that.
There you go. They're the nicest comments. But no, even when I was a kid, like we said earlier, I bought a little. I think it was like a Cabaret poster of you, and you signed it for me. And that was massive. But compliments for me. I mean, I get some, but you just take them, don't you? But yeah,
it's very nice. It's very nice. Yeah, thank you.
It is. Yeah. We've had a few comments come
segue,
through.
actually. I'm sort of taken over, Jordan. I do apologise, but
No, go for it.
I wanted to talk about Panto, because this is something I'm massively big on. But we have got a question from Tim Willison. What was your first Panto? Good question to start.
First Panto was Aladdin at the it's 1992, and it was at the Central Halls Theatre at Chatham in Kent for Montrose Productions. And it's quite a big thing, because have you ever been to a beautiful theatre? That is a lovely theatre, and it was full. Every show was packed, because the show was working. It was one of the first shows to have some Home and Away and Neighbours stars coming over, and this was in '92.
Okay.
And there was a character in Home and Away called Bobby. She was the headmaster's daughter. There's big stories, and she was a massive star, massive. Nicole Dixon, she was called.
Yeah.
And it was a great show, and but every day outside, she used to have to walk through the street, people screaming, running after her, because I mean, that's a long time ago. Home and Away was massive. Everyone watched Home and Away.
Oh, it was, yeah.
Home and Away was massive. Yeah, it was great, lovely memories of that show. My wife was on it. She was working backstage as well. She was stage assistant AM at the time as well. We worked together. 1992. It doesn't sound like that long ago, does it?
Doesn't.
No. I can still remember 92, just about. But again, with Panto, I mean, I don't know which question to ask now. Yeah, we'll go with this one. Adult pantomimes. How do you feel about those?
Well, there's a play.
Bippo Ellis. Bippo Ellis is on Bippo's comedy channel. I've never seen a better comic. Hi, Bippo. Love him. Could you
just, if he does a follow-on comment to that, don't put it up if you wouldn't mind. I know what he's going to do.
That's
no, too well.
He's a great comic.
With adult pantomimes, He's fantastic. Obviously,
Lovely man.
Jim Davidson, I would say, kind of invented
Yes.
the adult pantomime. If he didn't, then I apologise. But Cinderella was the first one. I haven't got my DVDs because I've left them in my van on park. But then he did Boobs in the Woods. Can I say that? I've just said it now. And then he did Cinderella 2. And now you see, like, local to me is the Wimborne Tivoli Theatre. I don't know if you've ever been there. It's a beautiful little theatre.
Yes. Yes, I played it.
They
Yeah.
do, the year last, they did one night where it was adults only. And it went down that well that they had to do it for 2 nights the next year because it was so popular demand. What's your opinion on adult pantos? Is it just a gimmick, or is it something that should be encouraged? Well, not encouraged, but maybe, looked into.
Well, if it is a gimmick and it works and it gets people in,
Oh yeah,
it's not my cup of tea personally. I
Fair enough.
I would ask if I'll do one, and I said no. It's because I think with me, when you're doing a family audience all the time, and then you go on stage and you're doing it, and you're just putting the swear words in and such like. I mean, a friend of mine produces top quality pantos, Tom Rolfe, and he does some adult shows, and they're very good, choreographed. Like a normal panto if it was. I don't mean that to be disparaging, but that's superb quality what he does, and they sell out. They pack the place out. So there's a market for it. So there's a market for it. It's like Blue Comics. I'd never do it, but when you see Charlie Brown or Jimmy Jones or someone filling the place, there's a place for everything. You know what I mean? I wouldn't put them down. It's not something I'd ever do. I wouldn't do it personally.
I mean, the Tivoli and Wimborne, they're a great example of they just put in. I think the whole show. It was first act was about an hour. The second act was about 45 minutes. With all that time, I think they said the F word 9 times. That was it throughout the entire show, which I thought fair enough. There was quite a few S's. There was no C's, whatever. But the good thing was they could reference to things like Brexit and all this kind of thing that kids may not necessarily get. Like, it's the example, like if you were to say wishy-washy, for example, does a trick and it goes wrong. In a family show, you might say, "Oh, well, you're no Dynamo, are you?" Because everyone knows who Dynamo is. But in the adult show, they could say, "Well, you're no Paul Daniels, are you?" Because kids might not necessarily get it. So it's the references again. And that's why I love the Tivoli one, because they can put in those references. But I don't know if you've ever listened to the Panto podcast by Hayden Parker.
Do you know? I've not listened to a whole one. I've listened to bits, but I haven't really. I should,
brilliant.
But I haven't. No, I haven't.
There's a question he always asks people, and I want to put this to you because you've been in panto for a while. What would be your dream panto? You could be in it. You can be sitting in the audience watching it. You can choose the venue. You can choose the cast. You can choose the story. What would your dream panto be?
Cool. That's a bit of a different one. I wouldn't. I'd be in it. I'll be in it. I play Buttons is my favourite. And dear me, you have to give me a bit of time here. There's so many people in there.
Okay, that's fine. You can think about that. We can come back to that because we've got.
If he was still alive, Danny LaRue.
Yeah.
Would play.
Brilliant.
Widow Frank. No, John Inman.
Yes.
Yeah. John Inman.
Brilliant. Okay, you can have a bit of a think about that question. Sorry, because we've got another one coming from Naomi Case. Hello, Naomi. What was your favourite part you performed within pantomime? I'm guessing you're normally the principal comic.
Yeah, I've always been comic. Although I have done some little pantos where I've done dame, some touring pantos and such like. I've actually done some tours with a bloke called Gary Starr who does little theatres and schools and such like. Yeah. And I've done Hook. I've done Dame. I've done
nice.
I've done just about a Queen of Hearts. I've done everything, But my favourite part for panto is Buttons, really, because it's the best. It's the best one, and it's everyone's favourite panto, I think, Although I do like Dick Whittington because it hasn't been Disneyfied.
Mine's Aladdin, personally, but yeah.
Yeah. Aladdin, Wishy Washy's a good one if you get a good laundry scene,
I mean, Buttons it's been said to me by Steve Walls, who we've actually got coming on Tuesday.
Yeah.
He's always said if you play Buttons right, then, the audience should kind of feel he's kind of the link between what's happening on stage and the audience, but you should also feel sorry for him when Cinderella's not in love with him. Yeah. And if you get that right, that's kind of cool. I've only got 2 more questions, Jordan. Sorry, and then
No, go on, mate. You take it away.
Because obviously with everything that's happening at the minute, everything's up in the air. And so Cameron McIntosh has said theatres probably won't open until middle of next year, which is fine. But Brian Connolly came out the other day and said, yeah, Panto's probably going to be pushed back to February. And he's basically said it as like, this is going to happen. Now, with social distancing and everything else, in all honesty, in your personal opinion, this is just your opinion, do you think Panto 2020 is going ahead, or do you think it's going to be February, or do you think it's maybe going to be later than that?
I don't know. I mean, if it is moved to February, that'd be great, But I'm keeping optimistic that even if we don't get a summer season, we'll get Panto. That's what I'm hoping.
Let's hope so.
The thing is, you're not going to be able to social distance in the theatre, even if you have one person with 4
That's
seats.
the thing, yeah.
You've got to use the same toilets, you've got to use the same corridors, and some theatres are pokey little box offices and things. But I think we should all keep positive and think that Panto's going ahead in December. That's what I think.
Yeah,
I hope so.
I mean, we could do just a final one, little quick question. What's your favourite pantomime story?
Favourite what that's happened to me? Or actual
No.
story?
As in, my personal favourite is Aladdin, for example. What's your favourite story?
Obviously, I think the nicest, the most magical one I think is probably Cinderella, because it's the story, it's the build, everyone knows it. I think the children know what to expect. But I like Dick Whittington if it's done well, because it's real life, it's British, But probably Cinders is my favourite subject, I'd say.
Well, Gary Starr's getting in the action.
Hello,
Gary. My favourite person to be on stage with so many stories, none we can air, sending much love in these crazy times. There you go, a message from Gary.
That's nice. Nice message.
And again, if you're watching this and you're enjoying what we're doing today, please like and share. That's me doing the logo. Like and share.
And of course, there's a lot of people watched on YouTube as well today.
Yep. And also, we have got a load of comments coming in. We do read all the comments. We may not necessarily get around to them, but we are doing our absolute damnedest. So please keep your comments coming in. I'm loving this. Jordan, I've been talking far too long. I'm going to shut up.
All right.
Over to you.
More about Paddy knows more about pantomime than me, but just for a younger audience, people that would like to get into pantomime, what would you say to them? To the younger generation of people wanting to pursue it?
I'd say don't.
Don't.
To be fair, I don't think there's hardly enough work in it now for me. So get a proper job. I don't mean that. I think for people getting into it now, if get a skill. You know what I mean? Learn. Young people are very lucky because you've got YouTube and things like that. And my I never had such things. So you had to go and buy a video or whatever. But you can watch, if you want to be a panto comic, you can go and watch on YouTube. You can watch it. It's there. Everything's there. And not to copy, but to look at and learn and get you think, that might work. Little ideas. It's very. This is with technology. You're very lucky now to have things like YouTube. You can look up, pantos, John Inman, Les Dawson, people like that, Ken Goodwin,
legends.
It's there. You can look at it all, and so lucky, really.
Brilliant.
Because there was a thing a while back. I don't know if anyone remembers this. Expert Village, it was called. It was basically YouTube, but for learning stuff. So you had like professional chefs going on there. You had magician. That's kind of gone now. But anything you want. I mean, I do this quite a lot. If I'm in my caravan on park, I'm just like, I fancy making a beef stew tonight. How do I do that? Just beef stew recipe, YouTube, bang.
Yeah,
it's there. Sophie Rollason says, "Where has been your favourite place to perform and why?" Ooh, good question.
That's my niece from Cornwall. That is my favourite.
Hello, Sophie.
How are you, Sophie? I don't really know. I mean, theatre-wise, I there's been some lovely theatres, really. I mean, I like Rotherham Civic Theatre. It's really old-fashioned, and there's some. I mean, we did the Swansea, the Grand, when I did a tour with the Sooty a few years ago. Did the Grand at Swansea. My God, that's beautiful theatre in it, And I think I did Tivoli at Wimborne. That's a tiny little one with near the main street, isn't it? That was a nice little one. And you have to go right around the back to get any set in.
You do. There's a little alleyway that you can walk down, and
That's
even better
it, yeah.
now, it's right opposite of Spoons. So
Oh,
Yeah.
there we are. Yeah,
Chief Weatherspoons.
I
you're
think,
sorted for after.
I did a load of pantos at a place in Peterborough called the Cresset, and I did probably like 7 years of panto there over the time, and it was like a sports hall, right? When I got there, I looked at it and I thought, oh my word, what is this? People were playing squash, and I thought, what have I done? What have I signed? So we went, had the read through and everything, come back, and then the seats came out from the electric, you know what I mean? Where the seats come out and the curtains come out.
The bleachers,
Amazing. Some places, and I think these places survive because they can be used when there's not shows on, because sometimes theatres, shows don't make a lot of money, you know what I mean? So places like that, multi-purpose places, they are maybe the future because you can put anything in there. You can put craft fairs or concerts or dinner dances, you know what I mean? It's just, I don't know. There's been so many places over the years, and then if I say something, I forget a place, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Definitely.
Which, going back to the panto thing, for a lot of theatres, it is their biggest earner of the year because it's like a month of bums on the seats.
Yeah.
And there's not only that, you've got obviously drinks in the bar, you've got programs and everything else. So it may be, if what Brian Conley says is true, and we do have to wait till February next year, putting in a panto is not necessarily a bad idea because a lot of people say, well, who wants panto in February? You know what? If it's going to help the economy of theatres, maybe that's the way to go.
Well, I did a panto last February. I did panto at Billingham Forum last February. Goldilocks and Three Bears. That's a beautiful theatre. That's a lovely theatre. For Tom Roth Productions. Fantastic show. But that's February. You wouldn't know it's February. It doesn't matter, really. Yeah. As long as, if it gets children out.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, look at that.
If you get children out.
He's a bear with brown fuzzy hair.
Yeah, I tell you, that's me and my son at Lincolnshire Wildlife Park. We were doing
you can see that's your son. You do look so alike.
That ties in quite well, doesn't it?
Yeah. We were doing a monkey magic show for Gary Starr, who was on there earlier, at Lincolnshire Wildlife Park outside. I work all the glamorous venues. We were working on a trailer, little hay bales around and section, but it's lovely. Yeah, that's a great place, Lincolnshire Wildlife Park.
Are you on TikTok, Sean?
No.
Because I said this at the beginning. It's Jessica_Kate. She's one of the keepers there, and obviously within lockdown, animals still need looking after. So she's been taken to TikTok to do videos. Absolutely brilliant. Follow her. Susan Humphreys. Hi, Sean. What would you have been if you hadn't been an entertainer and things hadn't worked out on stage? Love, Mrs. Winkle.
Well, I'll tell you what that means. That Susan Humphreys, her late husband was one of the best cabaret acts in the business. Comedy, does all musical, instrumental, played all these instruments, and he played a penny whistle up his nose and everything. Google him, Dick Van Winkle, great act. Done all the major theatres, tours, great act. So hello, Susan. Sorry, I'm going off there. What was
That's
that?
Right.
What would I be? Oh, if I wasn't in pantomime.
If you weren't an entertainer, what would you have done? If you were not upon the stage, something else you'd like to be. If you were not upon the stage,
I think I'd have probably been a model, to be honest.
I reckon you'd have
and this
done
would be
very
your
well.
song. You'd sing it all day long. Go on.
No, I don't know. I haven't got a clue.
But loads of comments coming in. Absolutely.
I've never had a job. You know what I mean? A real job. So I don't know. I've not got any skill as far as it goes. Like painting or maybe a van driver. Be quite nice. No, don't need to talk to anybody all day.
Another comment from Megan.
What is the funniest memory you have that involved having a member of the audience take part in an act? Oh
dear. Do you know, over the years there's been so many, but I don't know if you can repeat a lot of it. I'll tell you when I did at Searles, actually, where Jordan used to come. I used to do this Tarzan and Jane thing. I think we still do it now. But
yeah, we do.
I used to do a fake fall, so the woman fell on top of me. But it looked real, obviously. But I was watching You've Been Framed, and there it was on there. And it's been on about 4 or 5 times.
Amazing.
But, I mean, I've had children say things, inappropriate things, which they don't mean, on stage over the years. And oh my word, I've had some things. And
Which is the story that I said. Sorry, the story I said the other day. This was at Coghurst Hall, which is I was the Ents manager there last year, which Jordan's there now. I was doing a game show, and I always interviewed the grown-ups: name, location, what you do for a living. And it was, I can't remember his name, but let's say his name was Charlie. Like, where are you from? Manchester. What do you do? He said, I'm a courier. I was like, oh, okay. What's the strangest or weirdest thing you've ever had to deliver? And his 10-year-old son from the back of the room just went, me. Like that.
That's good. Yeah.
I normally you'd have a comeback for this sort of thing, but I was just like thinking. I haven't. I went up to his kid, just shook his hand, and was like, "Well done, mate. You make me look
right."
Yeah,
very good.
Brilliant.
Very good. Very good.
Obviously,
sometimes you just can't get out of it.
We'll have a little look around at your pictures if that's all right with you, and we've got loads more comments coming through. But just wanted to touch on the ribbon you've got. We were talking about it the other day. Was it the water rats you called it?
The water rats,
yeah. I'm a member of what's called the Grand Order of Water Rats, which is it's an entertainment fraternity. We're all sort of brothers in it, as it were. And we just meet up at the head office in London at the lodge room, and we have a chat, and we talk about the business, and then we raise money for charity. Over the years, thousands of different charities and thousands of
Good.
Excellent.
Good
and it's a great tradition. It started actually. I don't know if you're interested. So I tell you, is this going to bore you or?
Yeah.
No, carry on.
No, carry on.
A group of musical performers in 1889. An old musical performer called Joe Alvin and Jack Lotto and a couple of others. They bought this as payment for a show. They got a horse, a pony, and they called it Magpie. So they used to say, "What are we going to do this?" So they had it in the East End of London. They kept it in a yard, and they used to walk it to venues, and they used to walk it around, and they raced it, and they won money. But instead of keeping the money, because one of them was quite religious, didn't think it's right for gambling. So what we'll do, we'll keep the money, and we'll use it for people less fortunate than ourselves. We'll put it into a fund. And they said, well, we'll make a little group. What do we call it? Anyway, they were thinking of it. And one night they were walking it back through the streets of London, and this bloke shouted out, "Boy, what's that you got there, mate? This is Magpie, my pony, trotting pony." It says Magpie, looks more like a drowned rat. So they thought, so that's where the name comes from. So they thought, what they do, they got this group together called the Water Rats, and for entertainers, and it originally was to help other entertainers, but since it's grown. And rats, if you write it down, if you read it backward, it says star. And a water rat is a type of vole, and a vole is an anagram of love. So it's a sort of a nice, it all fitted in.
That's really cool.
You know? Yeah. And
there's a few celebrity members, is there not?
Oh yeah, loads. Yeah. I mean, it started all them years ago. There's been people over the years like Tommy Cooper, and there he is, Danny. Look. Tommy Cooper and Les Dawson and Norman Collier and
all the greats,
all the wonderful stars, you know.
Steve Hewlett, right there. There you go.
Steve.
Joe Pasquale, isn't it?
Yeah. Joe Pasquale, was a past king, and Ken Dodd and people like that. But at the minute, our King Rat is a great comic, Dougie Brown, who there's not much happening this year, obviously, it's unfortunately, but he's our king. And just before that, Nicholas Parsons was our King Rat, who sadly passed away, you know. But it's amazing. When I first joined, you know, and you go into the lodge room and you look around, there's pictures of Bud Flanagan and Dan Leno and Little Titch, Charlie Chaplin was a water rat, you know, and Lauren Hardy.
No way.
Yeah. Amazing, really. Yeah.
Brilliant. Good for you.
The first King Rat, when they got it, was a man called Harry Freeman. He used to write music hall songs, and then in 1891, Dan Leno became King Rat of the Water Rats. And anyone who knows pantomime, Dan Leno was like a megastar in pantomime, you know, as a dame and such like. So to be a water rat for me, it's like I'm probably the only person I've never heard of. Do you know what I mean?
We've heard of you. We've definitely heard of you. Brilliant.
Oh,
it's great.
And
but you say you've raised a lot of money for charity, which is, I mean, brilliant. Again, we're kind of doing the same thing here with Podcast 96. We support the Mental Health Foundation just because, obviously, being entertainers, in our industry, it's probably one of the biggest issues that we face. Not necessarily all of us, but some people. There it is, the Mental Health Foundation. It's a good thing to talk about, and just, it's okay not to be okay. And especially with this going on, there it is, mentalhealth.org.uk. Check him out if you're having any problems or anything. If you're watching this, go and check him out. If not, just check him out anyway. Jordan, I'm going to have to pass over to you because I need to pay a visit to the little boys' room, but I'll be back in
not a problem. But yeah, the mental health was very much, we went with that because we started this podcast because although, some people might be together with their families, a lot of people are feeling quite lonely and vulnerable. So we thought if we can make an escape for some people to come on and talk about the things they're passionate about, like yourself, that's what we wanted to do. So that's why we went with mental health.
Yeah, it's a great channel. It's good that people are talking about it more now. With with like William and Harry, when they spoke out, Royal things you speak out, when they started speaking out, and then people, sports stars, and then people say, oh, maybe it's not just don't make it, because a lot of, especially men, they say, oh, they don't talk about the feelings, do they? You know what I mean? It can only be a good thing. Well done, mate. Well done, Jordan. It's good.
Yeah,
it's great.
Thank you. We got a comment from Sophie Rollason again. Your career highlights so far?
Well,
tricky one. Good question.
It is a tricky one. Yeah, it is tricky. I mean, there's been such nice things. It's nice when I did, some of the big theatres like the Swansea Grand and places. I did the Echo Arena at Liverpool, and watching that was amazing. But then to do panto and work with old pros, that's what I like. When I did panto years ago with Wee Willie Harris, and he was a star in the 50s. He was old in the 50s. He's still alive. I don't know how. But to work with people like that, and it's when you chat backstage and you realise, my goodness, these people have been around. They've done it all. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but
definitely.
I love working pantomime. It's fantastic, and some of the highlights. Actually, there's a couple of highlights. Not my career, but my kids' career. I loved it. My daughter was at. There's two places I always wanted to work. As a circus, I love circus. I always wanted to work at the Hippodrome at Great Yarmouth. I don't know if you ever get the chance to go, anyone. It's amazing. My daughter worked at Hippodrome at Great Yarmouth. It's amazing. And my son was booked to do. He's a juggler. He was booked to do a show at Leeds City Varieties. And if you ever get a chance, have you been to Leeds City Varieties? My God, the history is coming out of the walls. Do you know what I mean? It's that's where they did, of course, Good Old Days. And Tommy, my son, was in the dressing room, and like people like Tommy Cooper and Bernie Clifton and all the legends have been in that dressing room, and it's an amazing place. But I don't know, maybe my highlights yet to come. I've done some lovely variety shows. I did a lovely show not that long ago, a tour with Tom Rolfe put it together. I've got it here somewhere. It's called the Variety Emporium. Here we are. There's John Archer and Andrew Van Buren. Andrew Van Buren's his family goes back, where are we? There we are.
Excellent.
His dad, Andrew Van Buren's dad, was the first act. He did a very famous disappearing motorcycle. So someone on the motorbike went into the box, and this is in open air, made it disappear. And his dad worked with Walt Disney and people like that, And when I met Andrew Van Buren's dad, he was telling stories. I only popped in for, to meet up for an hour. We were there till like 2:00 in the morning.
Wow.
The stories.
Yeah.
And you would think this cannot be true. Some of the old pros, the stories they've got, it's just wonderful. It really is. It's a nice business to be in, Jordan.
Yeah, definitely. It definitely is. And I've loved every minute. We've got some more comments. We've got loads more comments. I'll wait for Paddy to come back as well. But just switching gear a little bit, going back to entertainment. I don't know if it was intentional or not. When I watched you, what I took from that with my entertainment now, working for Park Holidays, when you're working with kids, I very much get on their maturity level. I remember when you used to be on the microphone and you used to take a few deep breaths, and then you'd let out a massive burp, and all the kids would be in hysterics. And And I took that from you. I don't know if it was, but to get on the kids' maturity level when you're entertaining, I think is definitely key. I think you've got them.
Absolutely.
You've got them engaged once you can do that. And that's something you did very well. So.
Well, I always say when you're with kids, doing a kids show or kids party or doing a song sheet, a panto, some people say, "Oh, you should go down to the kids level," but I do. I go down like that, but I don't go down to their level. I bring them up to my level. I talk.
Yeah.
To, when some people, oh, hello, how are you? And talk to me. They're not dim. There's nothing. They're just younger. They're younger adults, really, aren't they? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
But
Exactly.
I always, if I have when I do the song sheet, I always get the techies to kill my mic, my lav mic, and I always have a mic because you can feed them. You know what I mean? So what do you like to do? And if they say, I'd like to be a teacher. Oh, well, what would you like to teach? I go, children. So I feed them the line. Where you're from? England. You can feed them the lines. You know what I mean? So so it makes them funny. So you give them the funny line.
Definitely.
To get a good laugh. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter who has the
Bippo's
funny line.
Bippo's got a question there. Bippo Ellis, again, fantastic performer. Bippo's comedy channel, I'm guessing that's the thing on YouTube. Go and have a look. Bippo is fantastic. Ask him about David Burton's sock story.
Now,
Rollo, what is David Burton's sock story?
Now, the thing is, with Bippo, he knows certain things you're not meant to put in the name.
Okay, good.
Actually, I've been having a word with Bippo about this. But actually, when we're finished, I'll tell you David Burton's sock story. David Burton is an actor who's been around for years. He's done so many pantos. He's like more of a proper actor, not like me. But his dad was a panto dame, But he's got such a love for variety and such. Like, even though he's a respected actor, a lot of actors look down on variety and turns and kids entertainers and things. David Burton is I mean, I don't know how old he is now. Must be, I think he's about 105 or something. But he's so young in his mind. He's the last person awake at night, drinking wine and all that, and chatting. Such a lovely, lovely man. If you ever do a podcast, he'd be great to talk to, David Burton. I think he's done one for the Panto podcast. I think he's done one. Great. He's done loads of years.
I think he has actually. Yeah.
Yeah. Great. He's a great chap. Yeah.
Just on that, we've got. Sorry, mate. We've got loads of comments of people coming in from entertainment backgrounds. So if anyone is interested in coming on and doing a podcast, don't hesitate to get in touch. Message at podcast 96. Let us know and we'll have you on. We're more than happy. More comments coming through.
I think he might be fishing here. Who's Rollo's favourite clown?
Wow, funny! It's amazing that Bippo asked me who my favourite clown was, and there is Bippo. My favourite clown.
There you go.
Is probably no. Bippo is a good clown. Everyone knows that, and he knows he's good, which is why he doesn't mind people having a joke. Because you can't argue. He's a fantastic clown, but I go back in time. I mentioned Jimmy Scott. He was my all-time favourite clown, I think. But there was a group, Google, what do you call it, YouTube, and the Rastellis, musical clowns, Italian family.
Yes,
stunning. Or of course, Charlie Caroli. If you want a good slosh routine, you can do a lot worse than go and get some ideas for Charlie Caroli. So,
absolutely.
It's just superb. It's like a ballet. It's just everything's timed. He had a great straight man called Jimmy Buchanan who basically never said anything, but he had such a droll face, and he was skinny and thin, and he never moved a muscle. But Charlie Crowley could pull his face or pull his nose and poke him. It was genius and way ahead of its time. Charlie Crowley, way ahead of his time. Brilliant. And of course, Bippo.
Yes.
Of course, yeah.
We've just had the post put on there. Again, if you're watching, we have got loads of comments coming through, so thank you for those. We will try and get through all of them. We've probably only got about 20 minutes left, so this is your last chance to get some comments in. Jordan, should we just go through the questions that people are asking? This might be a better way to go.
Yeah, ask this one, and that can segue into a question I've got.
Let's do that.
Which one was
JWS World, whatever that is. What is your favourite holiday venue to work at other than Norton Grange?
Oh, that's difficult because Norton Grange is wonderful. To
Mm.
be fair, nowadays, you see, my favourite venue, non-theatre venue, are the Warner hotels. Are really top quality sound and lights, and everyone I've been to, Norton Grange is superb. They're all good. All the Warner hotels. If any cabarets work there, they treat you so well. The lighting's good. The dressing room's good. The audience are an older audience, and it's like working a ship. You know, they're there and they're wanting to be entertained. And touch wood, I've never done a bad gig at Warner's, even when I thought there's no one in. They just work it right. You know, the compare walls right. The band plays before live band. It's just everyone's in a good mood, and if that's the case, you're on a winner, aren't you? Even, you know what I mean? Yeah,
definitely. We just had a question from Gary there, but going back, holiday parks. Obviously, I wanted to know and intrigued about. How did you find sales when you were there? Because obviously that's what I knew you from growing up. You were at sales. Did you enjoy sales? What was that like working there?
Yeah, it was great. When I worked there, Richard Searle was alive. He's passed away now. His sons have took over. Yeah, and he was a great. His dad started the business, so he was very hands-on. You know what I mean? He knew everything. You could see him digging the holes in the, and planting plants. And I mean, once I saw him and the owner of the place with his arm down a drain, unblocking drains. You know what I mean? He knew the business. He could do everything.
Dedication.
And he had a lot of respect for entertainment. You know, we had one year we had Norman Collier there every other week, and Richard Searle, who owns the place, came to me and said, "Could I come? Would it be okay if I came backstage and met Norman Collier?" Now, that's a lot. That's nice, respectful. You know, I got on very well there. We had a great team, and the good thing I did 14 seasons there. You know, with a little gap in between, but 14 seasons. Wow. And really, my wife used to book the team in and write the shows and all that, etc. And we had the same handful of people. We never had any fallouts with any of the team. They all stayed at least one season. You know, we never had any problems. It's very, very friendly, really, really friendly place. And we managed to then bring it up to, we had some great, don't know if you remember, John, we had people like the Star Cabarets. We had the Fortunes and the Dreamers and Ivy League. And we had Keith Harris and Norman Collier, Brother Lees, Duncan Mulvale, you know, Jimmy James, Edwin Starr, some great acts there, you know, over the years.
Brilliant.
But you can be at a place for a long time, and then so we sort of think Richard wanted to change, we wanted to change, so we moved, and here we are, still doing the same old rubbish, but just different places.
I still remember I saw Keith Harris. I was lucky enough to see him when I was working at Butlins. It was an adult weekend, and I had the afternoon off, and he was doing a 2:30 show in the afternoon. I thought, well, there's worse ways to spend your afternoon off, and went and saw the show, but it was his blues set, which I didn't realise he did. And I was a bit late because I was having lunch, and I walked in, and it was Cuddles the Monkey. He'd just done that, put him in this box. Yeah. And then the audience were going mental. It was like, don't clap, save it for the king duck. Like this. Yeah. Brilliant stuff. Gary Tustin just asked, do you guys have an affinity to an old park?
An affinity to an old park?
Fond memories, maybe?
Fond memories, well,
or a park you'd like to go back to?
I Searles is nice. Yeah, I don't know if I wouldn't really want to do a whole season at a holiday park again, you know. I enjoy travelling around and doing bits and pieces. But there's been lots of old parks I like. You know, I really liked, I used to do a lot of cabaret. I didn't do a summer season there, but I did a lot of cabaret down at Hemsby. You know, they were nice. What were they? They were Richardson's. They were nice places to work. But Searles is my main one. I did full-time summer seasons. Apart from that, Caister, of course, at Great Yarmouth. Have you ever been there? It's huge. I think that's a Haven now. That was a night. I had a lot of good memories at Haven at Caister, Great Yarmouth, huge place, huge ballrooms. Well, it was called ballrooms then. 3 venues. Each venue had a different live band. You know, we had big acts in. Eric Delaney's big band was in there, and people like that. Oh, great places, you know. But as I say now, I don't know if they have got any resident bands in the Haven Parks. I don't know, but time moves on, doesn't it? You know what I mean?
Yeah, indeed.
A silly question I had from. Oh, go on.
Sorry, just to go back on Gary's question. What about you, Jordan? Any part you've got an affinity with?
I mean,
working out or going on holiday either.
I mean, holiday will be sales, because my granddad was an owner there when I was little, and we went there most weekends really. And I was going to ask, did you ever work during the day as well? Because I always saw you at night. I used to think you lived backstage with Sydney when I was little. I thought you lived backstage. And it was like, oh, I see Rollo at night, but I never see him in the day. And
I did. I think when we first went, I did work in the daytime doing some stuff. I always like to go in and do some stuff in the daytime.
Yeah.
But in the daytime mainly, my wife, because my daughter, Lucy, she was very young then, so I was very lucky because I could spend time with Lucy, my daughter, in the daytime. Yeah. I could go to work in the evening, and then it's nice because we could both, you know, my wife and I, between us, could spend time with the children. You know what I mean? So I mainly did the night times. Although I used to go in and do a quiz or, you know, a funny keep fit or whatever and such like. But not so much. Mainly the evenings. But in the daytime, I used to, you know, a lot of. I was always there getting ready, really, you know. Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah.
But yeah, to answer your question, Paddy, it was very much sales, because that's where we used to go, and used to just go and see Rollo. But for parks I've worked at, Harlin Sands will always have a place, because that's where I started, and although it was a private company, without them, I wouldn't have got to where I am today, entertainment manager. But no, everyone's got to start somewhere. We've got more questions coming in.
I think, so I'm just going to fill in quickly. For me, I'd say it'd be Holborn Bashley. Dave Horton, who worked with us last year, he's now back as manager there. I've had many managers over the years that I've worked under, but Christy, who is my manager there, I learned so much from her. She was one of them, like, because we've all got paperwork and stuff to do and admin and stuff. She used to get it all out the way on Sunday night cab. Other than that, she'd be in there doing everything else with us. Andrew Van Buren, any advice on how I can get into showbiz?
Don't take any notes of that comment. Andrew Van Buren, I tell you, if you have a podcast, this is the man I was talking about earlier. You know what I mean? That's been in the business.
Come on, we'll try and get him on. Anybody that's watching, give the podcast page a message, and we will more than happily have you on.
Touch. Private message.
Great. He's one of the great entertainers, Andrew Van Buren. Really great.
Lucy Rollason, favourite memory on the circus?
Well, lots of things on the circus. I used to do an act years ago. 88. I used to do a thing called the Walk of Death with an elephant, and I used to lay down.
Ooh.
And this elephant used to walk over me. You know, it's a big drum roll. He used to put his foot like
what?
You know. Anyway, so I was laying there, and you can't really move. Once it took his first step, his foot sort of ends here, you know, there. So anyway, I was there, and then I looked him around, and I could see that he was standing still. And I looked to the front, and David Chipperfield, the elephant trainer, was just giggling to himself. And then I saw the tail lift up a little bit, and then I saw like it widening, and suddenly, bang! And there it was, a big lump, followed by 2 more lumps, and it was packed. It's a packed audience, and I was there.
Wow!
And it was steam coming up from my chest.
Oh my god!
That sticks.
How many people can say that's happened to them?
Yeah.
That is crazy. Oh my god. Tim Willison, who are your inspirations?
Well, really, I mean, when I was a clown, people like old clowns like Peter Sandow and Jacko Fawcett, people like that, Jimmy Scott. But for comedy wise, you know, and a lot of when I first did comedy, suppose maybe Bernie Clifton, people like that.
Yes.
Freddie Starr, Freddie Starr was great. Barrymore, Barrymore's one of the greatest entertainers we produced in this country.
Oh, definitely.
And then, of course, Doddy, Tommy Cooper, people like that.
Yes.
I like a lot of the old comics. Really, that's
Same.
I do like some of the new, like Milton Jones or Stuart Francis, people like that. Lee Mack.
Joe Lycett. Joe Lycett's one of my favourites. Lee Mack, amazing.
Oh, I love Lee Mack. Yeah, I like Joe Lycett. Yeah, great style and great. But I prefer to watch the older ones. Really,
He's also got a show. I think it's on Channel 4. Joe Lycett's Got Your Back, which is essentially like a watchdog consumer type show. If you haven't seen that, check it out. Sophie Rollason. The most challenging aspects of working within the entertainment industry. Good question, Sophie.
Well, it's the same really forever, and it always has been. It's getting the work, keeping the work coming in, and that's the most challenging thing, and also not letting it down. The show must go on type thing. It's still the same. You've got to be there, haven't you? You can't be late for a show. You can't not turn up for a show, and sometimes it's difficult to get there. But the most difficult thing really is getting the work in, I think, and then being. Because places change quickly. They go from having a cabaret and a singer and a live band, and then it changes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not as challenging as when I did working men's clubs. To be fair with you, I mean they are a challenge.
I've heard they are. Yeah.
On holiday parks, it's a 24/7 show, really, isn't it? As soon as you leave your accommodation, you've got to have that mask on, but. Whether you're tired or you're down or mid-season blues, you've got to go in with a happy face, and you've got to perform to the best of your ability. Whether it be a morning activity or a full-on cabaret, you've got to give it 100%.
Yeah,
good question.
I've heard so many comedians say that working men's clubs are like the School of Hard Knocks.
Oh,
like when I did my first Panto tour a while back. Found out we were going to one of these venues, and I was like, I've heard so many comedians like say this is, even the big ones like Jim Davidson, Lee Evans, and all this sort of thing. And thankfully, because it was a panto, it was more for the kids and it was a family affair.
Yeah.
Than anything else. Maria Wainwright, sorry to cut you off there, Bippo. No, you're not Bippo. You're Rollo. Maria Wainwright, sorry, says. Sean sang the Under the Sea song. Can you sing it, please, again, as it reminds of our times at Searles, the good old days? Maybe just a couple of lines. Right.
I used to. I don't know if you saw this show, but my wife put together a Disney show there, and we had it opened. A big seashell opened on stage, and one of our girls, Jamie, she was dressed as a little mermaid. She sang Under the Sea. What is it? Nice. Isn't it sweet? That one. And then. I came in, the keyboard player, dressed in as Sebastian the Crab.
Brilliant.
And we made it, if you imagine me with a red lycra catsuit on with a red hood, and the main body was made of the lid of a red lid from a wheelie bin cut out from the front and the back. It's very technical, yeah. And I had...
I wish we had a picture of this.
Yeah. Well, I think I wish I did have a picture of it. I must have it somewhere. But it's the when I used to sing Under the Sea, Under the Sea. Darling, it's better. Don't worry, it's wetter. Take it from me. That one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not singing. I can't sing all of it. I can't sing.
Love it.
That's fine. Phil Page,
Okay,
hi Rollo. Thank you for
man.
being a huge part of my childhood and being such an inspiration to so many. And thank you for all the hilarious memories. Love, Kev, Michael, and Phil Page. That's lovely.
Oh,
Nice to get a comment from Phil as well. Hi, Phil.
thank you, Phil.
Absolutely.
Phil from I think he's from Stamford. I think Phil come from. And Kev.
Yeah, he's in the same company as me and Paddy now with Park Holidays. I believe he's at Marley as an entertainer. If I'm right.
Yes.
Yeah. He's a good lad.
Bobo Roberts, any funny stories of working with Kenny Cantor?
I don't know if you ever heard. Kenny Cantor is passed away now. He'd been in the business for years, generations and generations and generations. Probably 6 generations. But he wore glasses literally this big. They were massive, and they were that thick, big
Like
red
Dennis
glasses,
Taylor.
Oh, bigger. And he used to say, "Hello, darling," when he spoke. And he was not a wallflower, was Kenny. He was not a wallflower. You knew he was in the room, you know. But this isn't really for working with him. But when the kids were little, we were at Disneyland Paris, you see. And this is something that can only happen to children who've been brought up in the entertainment business, right? We used to walk from the hotel along by the lake every day.
Yep.
And he used to play a game, you know, and they said, "Oh, who can you see?" My youngest was very little. He said, "Can you see? I can see Donald Duck. Oh, can you see? Who can you see?" And he said, "Oh, I can see Mickey Mouse." You know. Anyway, one day he was coming and say, "Who can you see?" And he went, "Guess who I can see, Dad?" "Who is it? Is it Mickey Mouse?" "No." "Is it Donald Duck?" "No." "Who is it?" He went, "It's Kenny Cantor." I went, "What? Kenny Cantor?" And all of a sudden we saw these red glasses. He went, "Hello, darling." It's Kenny Cantor, this comic in Disneyland. And I'm
Brilliant.
thinking, there's not many kids from normal backgrounds that would happen to. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
That's amazing.
This is brilliant. I don't know if we can maybe have a little look at some of the pictures, if you don't mind, but on your wall.
On the wall, yeah.
There's loads. And then, of course, we'll have look at some pictures of yours as well.
Ah. Well, that's me and Darren. That's me and Mark and Sooty. That's Darren Day. That's in Peter Pan, obviously. That's
Brilliant.
At, Worthing, probably Worthing. That's in. I'll tell
Chef.
you what that is. That's a cake routine. It with the Ugly Sisters, baking a cake for Cinderella at Rotherham, I think. Rotherham Civic.
Nice.
That's me. Now that's Bobo Roberts, who was on earlier. Bobo is a
There you
clown, and also he's got. Can you see? He's got the rat emblem on his lapel there. I'm pointing at his emblem, and he's pointing at mine. He's a Brother Water rat as well.
Ah, brilliant.
Ah, okay.
That's me in Snow White juggling knives. Yeah. Ah, well, that's a nice lineup of people here. That's from with a red jacket. That's Steve Barclay, the one with the red jacket. A great, old time musical, great comedian. Actually, to be fair, he gave me a lot of advice over the years. Steve, he's very generous with comics and such like. Gives a lot of advice. He worked with he toured with Danny LaRue for, I don't know, 10 years, more than that, 12, 15 years. Did loads of old time stuff. David Capri is next to him, fantastic singer, Vegas and all that. And then there's Alison and Andrew. That's Andrew Van Buren and his wife Alison there, and they were doing. I think they've been plate spinning act on that show. Then there's Steve Galler with the big banjo, brilliant entertainer. And then there's me, and that's Katie Ickeringgill. She was a singer on the show there, but now she's one of the entertainment managers for Warner's.
Oh, nice.
And then on the end, that's his name's John. He was the pianist on the show. And then a couple of the girls, the one on the front with the brown hair and the jacket, that's my daughter. And then the other three from a dance school there. That was at a show near Cromer in Norfolk for the Rats.
Brilliant.
Okay.
That's nice.
Oh, that's my son, Tommy. He's a juggler.
You two look so alike. You really,
That is
really
insane.
do.
I can't think where that is. That's backstage somewhere. I don't know.
You two look very similar.
Now, that was one of my clown partners, Jeff. His name was Jeff J. His clown name was Russell Sprout. And that was on Circus Fiesta, probably 87, 88. He's no longer with us, but did a great act. He did a great clown, knife thrower, did a good aerial act, cradle act, Wheel of Death, did a bit of everything, juggler. Yeah.
Lovely.
Good friend.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wow.
That's David Carl, a great singer and entertainer. The girl behind is called Jodie. She was playing Jack. This is Jack and the Beanstalk. And that's John Altman, of course. Oh, there we are. John Altman.
There you go.
Played Nick. Because I was called Reggie.
No,
I was called Regimental in them days. I was called Rollo. Then I developed when I did stand up, I was called Regimental for a good 10 or 15 years. That was a lovely show. That's Peter Pan. Yeah, Peter Pan with Nana dog. Beautiful.
Lovely.
That's my sweep. That's sweep. That was doing an escapology routine at Scarborough Open Theatre. That was, I tell you. Yeah, and it was the things you do to make a living.
Absolutely.
That was at
the face mask.
Face mask. Yeah.
Love that.
That was at Doncaster cast, and that's Cinderella, obviously. Then that's a show I did for Steve Barclay. That was for the Max Miller Appreciation Society. That was at the Dome Theatre at Brighton, quite a few years ago. Actually.
Very handsome, if I may say, love.
Well, thank you very much. Yeah. Oh, that's at Searles. That's me doing kids entertainment at Searles. God,
Amazing.
Blimey. That's there we are. That in the front. That's Kev Orkian, brilliant comedy. He did Britain's
And
Got
Steve
Talent.
Hewlett again. There you go.
Steve Hewlett, Andrew Van Buren, and himself. That's at the Alden Theatre backstage. All those four were all water rats in that picture.
Brilliant.
Yeah, lovely.
Gareth
Nice
Tustin,
memory.
Oh, okay.
you do Britain's Got Talent.
I don't think so, no, because I don't think my style of comedy would work, and I don't think it'd be. I don't think they would edit it kindly for someone doing traditional comedy. Do you know what I mean? I don't think it would work. To be fair.
But there was, I don't know if you watched it the weekend, there was the comedian got the golden buzzer.
No, I didn't know. But I don't know if it'd be, someone telling gags.
I forget his name, but
Old school. I don't think. I think they would.
I mean, because I watched it today, and he was very close to Delisa Japonda, who was on, I think 3 or 4 years ago, who got the golden buzzer as well. Hilarious.
Yeah.
Because he was Malawian, so he took a, bit of a mick take out of that. And this guy, I forget his name, but he was absolutely fantastic. I mean, BGT, it's kind of, it can go one way or the other, can't it?
Yeah. It's good to that. Oh, there he is. There is the legend, Bernie Clifton.
There you go.
The nicest man in show business. What a legend. Such a comedy mind that man's got. A lovely, lovely man. Lovely man.
Nice.
Great. Oh, I don't know.
Good. We got any more?
Now that in the middle, that's on the left. That's Peter Morton. He was in Grange Hill years ago. Played a character called Wayne, and that's Dora Bryan, the beautiful Dora Bryan in the middle. I mean, she was a legend. Carry On films and plays.
Fabulous. Yes.
She was a legendary. She's very forgetful. Was Dora very forgetful? Seriously forgetful, and she played a forgetful fairy in a pantomime. But
wasn't she in the first one, Carry On Sergeant?
Yes, she was. Yeah, with Bob Monkhouse,
as
I think.
Dora. Yeah.
Yes, and she was so ditzy.
There you go.
Yeah.
My knowledge of Carry On films should not be a thing. It's my superhuman power.
Is it? Oh, that's the tour I did with Barney Harwood, actually. That's
there you
Sapphire.
go.
She used to be in Emmerdale. Lovely girl. She was Dorothy. That's me as Tin Man, obviously. Great show, yeah. There you are, Buttons riding my bike.
On a little bike.
That's a nice cut. That was for Shown.
That's Buttons just winning the lottery. Yes.
Yeah. That's
Change bag, excellent routine.
Yeah. Probably Jordan would have seen me do exactly the same routine 20 years ago. That helps. We are Snow White. Yeah, Snow White.
Oh,
That's
that
for
lighting's
Shown.
pretty decent.
Yes, very good. He does. That was for Shown Productions. James Shown. He does
Wow.
very, very, very good lighting and sound and good quality show. Yeah, good, nice production of show. He does very good. That's
Punch and Judy, classic.
Yeah.
Wow.
Now that obviously that's me playing Buttons, and that's my daughter playing Cinderella.
Oh, that's
At
nice.
the Blackfriars Theatre. It was nice. Yeah, we got to see each other at Christmas. We could work together. It's really nice working with each other, and they wrote the script so it wasn't awkward. You know what I mean? It was quite nice.
Yeah.
They wrote it especially for us, but it's really nice working with my daughter because you don't get the chance. You know what I mean? In this business a lot. But that was at Boston at Blackfriars Theatre a couple of years ago, 3 years ago. Very nice. For Tony Pierce Productions. Tony Pierce is a good old school panto producer. Great chap he is. Yeah. Nice memories there.
I mean, we've been going for about an hour and a half. It's probably time to wrap it up.
I think you might be right. My goodness me, it's gone fast, hasn't it?
Yeah,
you know what? Before we go, I'd say one more question from me, one more question from you, Jordan. I know you're obviously a big fan of rolloentertainer.co.uk. There you go. Facebook.com/rolloentertainment. That's the plugs.
Yeah.
Amazing stuff. Anybody wanting to get into the industry, be it holiday parks, be it clowns, be it circuit, be it whatever, what would your advice be?
Well, if you want to get into it, I think go and watch as much entertainment as you can, soak it in. And I personally think in the summer, a great place to start for anyone. It doesn't matter what you want to do, whether you want to be a cabaret or a singer or a special act. You can't go wrong by going to work at a decent holiday park. You know.
Thank you.
You learn how to deal with the general public. You'll learn how to deal with late nights and early mornings. You'll learn how to, act on your feet. You know what I mean? You've got to, if something goes wrong, you've got people waiting there for their. It doesn't matter if it's Skittles or if it's a show. It's part of the people's entertainment, and it's very important. Paid. You know, and they save up all year for this week or 2 weeks, wherever, and it's very important, especially for children. It's got to be right, And I think if anyone wants to get into business, especially if you want to go into pantomime in the future and such, like holiday parks, is not a bad place to start, really. Very good.
Definitely. Before we do go, if you've got any other messages for Rollo, then get them in now. Bye messages maybe or something like that. Again, don't forget to like and share this page. Jordan, go on, mate.
I haven't really got a question. Just a massive thank you, really. Just being a big part of my childhood, and obviously I do what I do now because of sales and growing up there. So keep doing what you're doing.
Cheers, Jordan.
Brilliant.
Thank you very much. Thanks for inviting me on. It's been nice to have a chat.
It's been an absolute pleasure. I've
been
been so excited for it, honestly. But no, it's been an absolute pleasure. Once again, guys, if you do want to come on the podcast, let us know. Message to a podcast page, and we'll try and get as many people on as we can. We have got more people lined up coming up very shortly. Don't forget, you can go back and watch previous podcasts. We've had Ryan Higgins, Gary Tustin earlier on today, and many more. And we've still got many to come. But this has been an absolute pleasure today to have you on, Rollo.
Genuinely, it's been amazing.
Thank you for giving us your time. We'll stay in the link and we'll have a little quick chat before we go. But thank you, everybody, for your comments today. Very much appreciated. Go on, Paddy.
Sorry, just to plug, our next podcast is live at 1 o'clock on Tuesday. We've got Steve Walls and Mary Prowse. They are both panto people, again. I've known Steve for a while. Steve Walls, you may have heard of him, Rollo?
Oh, I've heard of him, yeah.
Absolutely brilliant, big deal in the Northeast. Mazza as well. Sorry, I keep calling her nickname, Mary. They both celebrated 10 years at the Whitley Bay Playhouse doing panto, so we're going to talk all things that and entertainment as well. But yeah, again, Rollo, it's been a pleasure to meet you, sir. I can see why Jordan's a big fan, and I'm now a big fan just because of this as well. There you go.
Podcast 96. Don't forget tonight, myself, Ben, and Andy will be live for a live stream of WWE Money in the Bank. Not too many people.
I won't be because I don't know about wrestling.
It will be through the night. But yeah, tune in, guys. It's been an absolute pleasure, Rollo. Thank you for coming on.
Yeah, you're very welcome. You're welcome.
Stay home, be safe, protect the NHS. We'll see you all very soon. Take care. Bye.
So maybe snap my fingers. So maybe snap my fingers. So maybe snap my fingers. So maybe snap my fingers in V formation. Hip rotation. Booty sensation. Elbow, wrist, snap, snap, kiss, kiss. Elbow, wrist, snap, snap, kiss, kiss.
How much Lego can you stuff up your bum? Oh, for Christ's sake! Not now, just like when you was younger. How much could you get up there?
You are grim, mate. Why were you sticking Lego up your bum?
Not a lot, just like a rectangular one and a long one.